Hey, how's everyone doing? It's a little chilly this morning. Ooh, why is it so cold? Too cold. Brr. I don't know. Too cold. Not a fan. I'm going to be very thrilled to have hot coffee momentarily because it is too cold. Too cold. Monterey, it was warm yesterday. Oh, you're in Monterey. What are you doing up there? Just visiting your parents? Morning, Naisa. All right. Oh, I have the hiccups. Where did those come from? That came out of nowhere. Why? It's the worst. That's weird. Is everyone ready for Roll for Slime tonight? Morning, Slaw. We'll be on YouTube tonight doing Roll for Slime. I'll have the agenda up later. They want to be ready before the harvest. Yeah, well, so, yeah. I would also want to be ready before a hard move-out date. That sounds stressful. Stressful. Ask me. But what do I know? Just a lowly slime maker. I don't know a lot about hard move out this. Teehee. Just kidding. I mean, I am just a slime maker, but you know. Coffee, coffee, coffee. Oh, it's so warm. Oh, it feels so nice. Feels so good. Ooh. Is anyone else freezing? Like, why is it so cold? Morning, Jennifer. It's so cold here today. It's officially because they're telling them they can't officially close until they move that. Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. That makes sense, though, right? You know? It makes sense. There we go. Look at that. That's the way we want to see it. All nice and steamy. So I can warm up. People outside are honking. Apparently they have a lot to say this morning. You guys want to see? This is our neighborhood. That's what it looks like out there. They're honking about something. What are they honking about? That I don't know. And I never know because, oh my gosh, this plant is growing so much. They honk so much. It does. My parents still have the fake reality that they have more time than they do. Oof. They need to... Oh my gosh, you guys want to see our new baby leaf? Look, our monstera is growing a new baby. Look. It hasn't even opened all the way yet. It's still curly cued over. It's gonna open soon. This one's new. You can tell by how light green and how soft it is. It just opened recently. Oh, look over here. We have a new one coming too. Underneath here, that one wants to grow. I don't know if you guys can see that one. Yeah. Okay. And this one, wow, right here. Look at that. This one's still all curled up. The monstera is constantly growing new leaves. It's very prolific. It's a very prolific plant. Yes, very. It has a lot of growing to do. Has anyone seen Becca this morning? Anyway, Gonna have some sips of coffee first to warm myself up because I am freezing. Freezing! Even in my long underwear, I'm freezing. Oh, too cold. Okay, it's enough. We live in a small neighborhood. Who are you honking at? And why? Oh my God, look at that puppy. I wish you guys could see the puppy across the street. It's like a little mini King Charles Spaniel. Like a little lady from Lady and the Tramp, but like tiny and white with like the little cream colored, like orangey cream colored ears. Oh my God, she's so cute. That is a precious puppy. We love to see it. We love to see it. I would definitely get a dog like that. So cute. If I had, you know, time. Morning, Avery. Morning, morning, everybody. What's everyone reading outside of book club right now? I'm looking for recommendations. Anyone got any good recommendations? Especially things that'll like grab your attention. Hey, Ray. Like right away, like stuff that will like grab you immediately. I definitely, morning, Amanda. I need good new book recommendations. I've started so many new books this week and none of them are grabbing my attention. They're all just kind of meh, which is a huge bummer. Huge bummer. I'm reading Kingdom of Ash, the last book in the Throne of Glass series. Yeah, I would have to commit to that whole series. I'm not sure if I'm ready to do that. I did read her other series mostly, and then I stopped before the last one because I couldn't keep going at the time. I might go back to it and finish it. Possibly. Not sure. What kind of books are you looking for? I don't know. I've jumped around from so many genres this week, just trying to find anything that like grabs your attention right off. Have you heard of The Prince of Oregon? You're very funny. You're hilarious. I do need to record more chapters of that this week too. I do need to do that. You are right about that, Amanda. Maybe I will read some more of that. Ha 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 ha. Very funny. Apparently, it's my name day, Polish holiday celebrated like a birthday. Aw, that's cute. Why, like the name, like Saint Anya or something is today or something like that? Is that what it is? Or the day your parents picked your name? How does that work? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Don't know how that works. All right, I think we have given everyone ample time to get here if they're gonna show up for the day. So we are gonna start pulling your name down. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Okay, Spark of the Everflame. Ooh, that sounds nice. I was thinking no books were keeping me entertained. Yeah, maybe it's just St. Anna. Oh, okay. Maybe it's just my brain this week. Like my brain is not right and it can't attach to any books this week. I don't know. It's on KU. Well, that's helpful. Me too, Naisa. Like more than that even, which is not like me. But I guess it is what it is for now, right? I'll find something. But either way, we are reading Stranger Than Fan Fiction by Chris Coffer. If anyone doesn't know, we are on chapter 11. And I am a little bit behind getting the previous chapters up on YouTube, but they will be up hopefully in the next day or two. So let's get reading. Chapter 11, Streamside Streaming. Monday morning at 8 o'clock, Topher gingerly approached cabin 8 of the Paul Bunyan Hotel and knocked on the door with his good hand. His whole right side was sore from carrying cash out of the warehouse the night before. Luckily, the actor had regained consciousness once he felt some fresh air, and he blamed the episode on low blood sugar. But the others were so relieved that he hadn't dropped dead that they didn't question him about it, though they privately had their doubts. Yeah, I have my doubts too. Your video was above this. Oh, well, that's always good, right? Hey, Cash, are you awake? Topher said. We're ready to go when you are. When they arrived at the Paul Bunyan Hotel after the concert, Topher and his friends decided to give Cash one of the 2 cabins that they'd reserved all to himself. After hearing the demonic noises that he made in his sleep, no one wanted to bunk with that actor. Hey, Jen, we're barely just a paragraph in, so we're just getting started. Cash, can you hear me? Topher said and knocked again. Are you even in there? The door cracked open and Topher saw that Cash was still in the hotel bathrobe. The actor shielded his eyes from the sunlight like a vampire and moaned. He cradled a small trash can in his arm like a newborn baby. "Good morning, Cash," Topher said cheerfully. "Hey, Mom." Just the sound of his voice was agonizing for the actor. "Oh, sorry, I slept in," he groaned. "Is it time to leave already?" Yup, but there is no rush," Topher said. "We're spending the whole day at the Mark Twain National Forest, so whenever you are ready." "About that," Cash said. "Look, I woke up with a terrible headache. I feel like someone is hammering a pickaxe into my skull. I am not sure hiking through the wilderness is a good idea for me." "Can we get you an aspirin or something?" No, I just gotta sleep it off. You guys should go ahead without me. I don't want to hold you back, so I'll just meet you in Oklahoma City tonight." "Cash, that's like a 6-hour drive," Topher said. "It's fine. I'll call a car." Cash said, "Don't worry, I'm not dishing you. I'll see you guys in the vacation suites." Cash quickly slammed the door and Topher heard him vomiting behind it. The situation clearly wasn't up for discussion, so Topher returned to his friends in the car. "Well?" Joey asked from the driver's seat. "Where is he?" The dude's hungover as F," Topher informed them. "He wants us to go on without him and he said he'll meet us in Oklahoma City tonight." "What?" Mo said. "That's insane. Why don't we just leave the forest early and come back for him?" "It wasn't exactly up for debate," Topher said. "He was in really bad shape." Joey shook his head. "Low blood sugar my ass," he said. "That's what he gets for mixing medication with alcohol, and it's probably why he's developing a bad reputation in Hollywood. He's gotta be more careful." "Well, hopefully last night will be a wake-up call for him then," Sam said. "How's your shoulder, Topher? Any better?" It feels like I've been drawn and quartered, but I'll be okay to hike today," Topher said. "I gotta say, passing out incident aside, I had a lot of fun last night." Everyone in the car smiled, completely in agreement. "Oh my God, it was so much fun," Mo said. "Definitely in my top 10 favorite nights of all time. Who am I kidding? Top 5. I know I had issues at first, but having Cash around might actually be kind of nice." "Oh yeah, it was a blast," Sam said. "I haven't danced like that since I was a kid, and even then it wasn't that much fun." "Who knew that Sam could move like that?" Joey said, "and who knew that Topher could move at all?" They all laughed at him and playfully pushed his good shoulder. "Yeah, it was special," Topher said, and then glanced at Sam when he wasn't looking. "Real special." With Joey at the wheel, the station wagon left the enormous statues of Paul Bunyan and Babe the Blue Ox behind and ventured further into Missouri. At the 430th mile of their journey, they arrived at the Mark Twain National Forest. The gang changed into comfortable shoes and selected a hiking trail from the options on a large map posted at the ranger station. Poor Cash is getting judged even if he isn't sick. Something is definitely going on. The sights and sounds of the forest were beautiful. The smells were translucent, but all anyone could think about was the night before. They relived every moment of their night with Rosemary's Schmishmorshman, from sneaking past the bouncer to cutting loose on the dance floor, even picking Cash up off the dance floor. It had been a day of frustrations, but a night of firsts, and they're going to cherish it forever. None of them had cell service as they hiked through the forest, which was a good exercise for a group of millennials. They enjoy spending a few hours of disconnection from the rest of the world, or at least that's what they said while checking for service every few hundred feet. Only when their trail wound downhill to a small stream did the first bars of reception start to appear. Suddenly, everyone's phone started going off like a winning slot machine. "That doesn't sound good," Sam said. "I hope something bad didn't happen." They checked their phones and found that their inboxes were filled with hundreds of Google alerts. Mo read the subject of the first one and screamed. "Someone posted a video of Cass passing out in the warehouse last night," Mo said. "It's all over the internet. All the wizards are freaking out." "Oh my God, it is everywhere," Topher said. "Television actor blacks out in St. Louis. Headline from CNN. Whiz kid out of control. Yahoo News," Sam reads. Meet me in St. Louis, Floor says to Cash Carter, TMZ, Joey reads. Liberal goes down in a red state, Fox News, Mo read. It's also on WizardNet and WizKids forum pages. Guys, I have the video loaded on my phone, Sam said. It's over 10 million views and we are all in it. Topher, Joey, and Mo huddled around Sam's phone and he pressed play. they'd never have to relive the experience in their memories again, because the whole night had been immortalized by a shaky iPhone. Everything from Cash dancing like a madman to fainting and being carried off was on YouTube for the whole world to see. This is horrible, Topher said. It's a disaster, Joey said. I can't believe we didn't see anyone recording us, Sam said. I'm so glad that I was wearing a cute outfit, Mo said. Look at the video recommendations. Kylie Trigg has already uploaded a video about it. Sam clicked on it and loaded the video on his phone. After a 30-second commercial for a lip gloss called Schmorn Schmar and Kylie's obnoxious theme song, the video finally played. The president has something... Wait, what? Okay. I read the sentence and it sounds insane, and that's because this woman, Kylie, who does these videos, is insane, and I thought the sentence, I thought I was reading it wrong. I'm not reading it wrong. She's just crazy. Sorry about that. Pause, you guys. Let's try that again. The president has to do something about Cash Carter. I'm going to get a TikTok alert for saying the schmeshmedent because, you know, they're going to be like, election news, even though this has nothing to do with that. Kylie said right off the bat, look, we all know fame and success can change people, but other fandoms have survived personality changes and bad decisions and the scandals of their show's star, and I know that we will get through this too. But Cash Carter, what the F is going on with you, boy? I mean, I know you've been going through a phase lately, but I never expected to wake up for this. Kylie played the footage from the warehouse in the corner of her video. The distressed YouTube host rubbed the sides of her temples as she watched. There are so many questions. I don't even know where to start. First off, why is Cash in St. Louis? And why is he at a punk rock concert when we all know that he listens to alternative music? And why is he dancing like an epileptic on roller skates? But one question that no one has yet to ask is, who the hell are the four deplorables with him? The footage paused and they zoomed in on Topher, Joey, Sam, and Mo's faces. Their collective gasps was so loud that it scared off all the woodland creatures within a mile radius. We are in Kylie Trigg's video, Joey yelled in disbelief, and she just called us deplorables. If you ask me, these effers are who to blame, Kylie declared passionately. I don't know if they're just an entourage sucking him dry of everything decent, or if they've been paid by another network to sabotage the show, or if they were planted by Doctor Who fandom so that they could laugh at us while we watch him self-destruct. I just know these people want him to fail. I am hopeful that Edward Snowden and or WikiLeaks will answer my request and help us get to the bottom of this. She thinks we're the bad influence? Mo asked in outrage. I am sure the Whiz Kids publicist will release some statement in the next hour claiming that it was dehydration. But just in case the four leeches involved are watching this, we Whizzers are on to you. If you don't leave Cash alone, stop corrupting him, and stop effing with his career, the fandom will hunt you down, we will find you, and we will end you. Holy shit. Kylie Trigg just threatened our lives, Sam exclaimed. The video finished, but was instantly followed by another. Hey, Whizzers, Kylie said in a kind and casual tone. So right after I posted my last video, my lawyer called me and told me that I need to retract what I said. I used some pretty strong words, but I wasn't really serious about those threats that I made, nor do I condone or encourage violence of any kind. So make sure you subscribe, and I will see you next time. The second video ended, but Topher, Joey, Sam, and Mo stared at the screen for a few moments in absolute terror. Holy shit, Kylie Trigg just threatened our lives and then took it back, Sam clarified. Every Whizzer in the world is going to hate us now, Mo said. What do we do? Should we go into hiding? Topher decided to downplay the situation as much as possible, not to comfort his friends, but really to comfort himself. This was more than he knew how to handle. Guys, I don't think we have to be worried about this, he said. Everyone knows half of everything that Kylie says is BS anyway. No one would be dumb enough to believe her. Everyone's phones started to buzz. They looked at their screens and saw video messages coming in from Huda and Davi. According to the tally beside their names, it was the 45th time the international Whizzers had tried to call them that day alone. Joey was the first to answer. Hey guys, excuse me, Huda shouted. Did something happen on your trip that you forgot to share with us? What the bitch are you guys doing with Cash Carter? Davi demanded. Oh boy, Topher sighed. I'm assuming you guys saw the video.
74 times, Huda said. Now spill. Long story short, the night before we left, I wrote Cash Carter a letter and I asked him to join us, and then the next morning he showed up. Hold on. You're saying that Cash Carter joined your road trip yesterday and we had to find out about it from Kylie Trigg? Huda asked. Topher shrugged guiltily. Yeah, he confessed. Their international friends screamed so loud that Huda woke up everyone in her house, and Davi scared everyone at the cyber cafe. And you repay him by trying to kill him at the concert? Davi asked. Well, he's not dead. He just had low blood sugar, Sam said. Kylie Trigg was just being dramatic. He's only been with us for a day. Is he with you right now? Davi asked. No, he's back at the hotel, Mo said. We've been hiking in the forest all day. That's why we haven't gotten your calls until now. What's he like? Huda asked dreamily. Is he just as amazing as Dr. Bumfuzzle? Topher, Joey, Sam, and Mo went quiet. They were afraid to answer. We'll have him call you and you can see for yourself, Joey said. The images of Huda and Davi on their phones suddenly froze. It wasn't from bad service. The idea of communicating with the actor was so shocking that they both went as still as a rock. Huda? Davi? Joey asked, but he didn't get a response. Must be a bad connection. Oh well. They ended the call and paced around the stream in silence. They scrolled through the comment section of every WizKid blog and website, reading thousands of witty, rude, and nasty remarks from total strangers, making them about them. I wonder if this is what Daniel Radcliffe went through. Oh, I'm sure it is. I can't believe that we're internet famous, Mo said. Would it be unethical to use this to get people to read my fan fiction? Yes, the others answered all at once. Poor Cash, Joey said. How does he live with this every day? I feel like I'm being pecked alive by 1,000,000 invisible birds. And they don't even know our real names, Sam added. Most of them are calling us Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Kung Fu Panda. Wait, which one am I? Mo asked. I hope this story doesn't upset Cash, Topher said. He's the one that's going to be impacted the most. Everyone will forget about us by tomorrow. Maybe we should just go back on the road and head to Oklahoma City so that we can comfort him when he gets there. I feel like he might need a friend after this. They all agreed, but just as they turned to leave, Mo's phone chimed with a new Google alert. Whoa, she said. It is not a good day for the WizKids fandom. A naked photo of Amy Evans just leaked. Did she get hacked? Joey asked. I don't think so. It looks like it came from her Twitter account, Mo said. She was probably just jealous that Cash was getting so much attention, but in good news, all the wizards are talking about that now, so you were right, Topher. We're already in the clear. The gang had never been so grateful to be a part of a generation with such a short attention span. They followed the trail back to the station wagon, hopeful the afternoon would be their first and only involvement with breaking news. Mo seemed a little disappointed that their moment in the spotlight had finished so quickly. She replayed the video from the warehouse over and over again, giggling as she watched herself dance like a maniac. Sam peeked over Mo's shoulder but cringed at the sight of himself. Are you okay, Sam? Topher asked. Yeah, I'm fine. I just really hate seeing myself on camera, Sam said. You shouldn't be. You looked really pretty last night. Topher smiled at Sam and he could tell there was something more behind just the compliment. Oh, thanks, Topher said. I love the story of Daniel Radcliffe wearing the same clothes every day after leaving his play, so the paparazzi couldn't get photos to sell. Yeah, he's a clever one. I tell you what, he's got a great reputation on Broadway for being just like top notch and not celebrity-like at all. He's totally like, they love him, you know? So, yeah. Sam always resented being called pretty, but that's not what bothered him right now. What weighed on his heart the most was seeing the heart on Topher's sleeve becoming more and more visible each day. The longer it went on, the guiltier Sam felt, like he was leading a horse with a false carrot. Before their trip was over, he had to tell Topher the truth, no matter how painful it was to say or hear. You have to, Jen. He's so talented. I've seen him in 2 shows, very different, both phenomenal. After all, there was a reason that Sam wanted to dance with Topher at the night of Rosemary Schmishmortion. And there was a reason that Sam stayed up all night, so many summer nights, chatting with Topher online. And there was a reason that Sam cared so much about how Topher was going to handle the truth. Perhaps they both wanted the same thing all along, and Sam was just scared that Topher wouldn't want the real Sam. Perhaps he had been hiding the truth to spare himself the disappointment. Whatever the case may be, Sam was about to find out. And from that moment on, the trip was more bittersweet than it had been before. By the time it was over, they would head home with a dozen new memories, but maybe a couple of broken hearts too. Chapter 12, Sinners and Saints. The Downers Grove troupe pulled into the parking lot of the Oklahoma City Vacation Suites at 7:15 on Monday evening, but Cash was nowhere to be found. Did a man come in this afternoon saying he was traveling with a group? Topher asked the woman at the check-in counter. No, I don't believe so, she said. What did he look like? The Schmushmortion name of the club they went to. The Rosemary's Schmushmortion was the name of the punk band they saw last night, for anyone who's wondering. So it's not anyone getting a Schmushmortion, it's just the name of a band, but I don't want to get a restriction here on TikTok, so I'm saying Schmushmortion so that they don't ban me for the name of a band, because it's controversial. But it's a funny band name. Yeah, you know. No, there's no Schmushmortions in the book, just punk bands that support Schmushmortion rights, which is great, as you should. I don't believe so, she said. What does he look like? Never mind, he would have left an impression, Topher said. We'd like to put one of our rooms under his name for when he arrives. By the time they settled into their rooms, Topher, Sam, and Mo were exhausted, and not just from hiking through the hills of the Mark Twain National Forest, but also from their emotional 15 minutes of fame. They decided to grab a quick bite at Noodles Galore at the Pasta House across the street from the hotel, and then they headed straight to bed. Are you going to eat before your registration meeting? Sam asked Joey. I'll just grab dinner on my way back, he said. Okay, have fun, Mo said. Don't party too hard without us. Yeah, right, Joey said. A Monday night in Oklahoma City with a bunch of Baptists? Don't wait up for me. As soon as the door closed behind him, Joey got ready for his registration meeting like it was a fire drill. He put together a nice outfit and Googled what the appropriate number of buttons was to leave open for a hookup date. 4, apparently. As Joey followed the advice of the shirtless, energetic gay YouTuber on how to safe and pleasurably have an experience, he dashed to the pharmacy down the street, taking the long way around the hotel so his friends wouldn't see him from Noodles Galore, and purchased the essentials to groom and clean and protect himself. By 8:15 that night, Joey was feeling as fresh as humanly possible and prepared for anything the night had in store. There was only one problem. He still hadn't heard from the guy that he was supposed to meet up with. He paced around the small hotel room, continuously refreshing his ManNip app in case it wasn't working properly. At 8:30, Joey worried that his friends would return from dinner, so he left the hotel and wandered aimlessly around downtown Oklahoma City while he waited to hear from Brian K. No. 4 open buttons, Jack. It's 4. Be very careful. Not 6 open buttons. That's almost all of them. 4 open buttons. Because I know this is what you're after. Jack's definitely cruising, you guys. At 9:30, Joey figured he'd been stood up, so he headed back to the hotel with his tail between his legs. His phone rang 3 times, and his heart fluttered. Maybe the night wasn't a total waste. He almost dropped his phone as he hurried to read the new message. Hey, sorry, I just got off work. Are you still in the mood to meet up? XOXO, Brian. Joey didn't want to seem desperate, so he played it cool, and he waited a full 20 seconds before responding. Absolutely! 3 exclamation points. Just name the time and place. There was no reply for a couple of minutes, and Joey worried that he might have scared Brian off by using too many exclamation points. But to his relief, his phone chimed with a game plan. Let's meet for drinks first. There's a bar called Sinners and Saints. It's on the corner of Robinson and Park Avenue. Meet me there at 10. Winky face. The name couldn't have been more ironic, and Joey took it as a sign that their first date was meant to be. He looked up directions and saw that the bar was only a few blocks from where he stood. Joey strolled through the town with a spring in his step and arrived 20 minutes early. Sinners and Saints was in the basement of a tall bank building that doubled as a tornado shelter when it needed to. It had a red carpet and big red booths and red stools at the bar. It was decorated in framed portraits of Catholic saints and framed mugshots of notorious criminals. That's kind of funny and a very clever theme for a bar. I like it. I would go. There were only 2 other customers, but the bar was completely empty, so Joey had a seat at one of the stools. Gonna get you a drink? A gruff bartender asked. Just water, thanks. Joey said. The bartender refilled his water 4 times as Joey waited for his man-nip date to show up. Joey was so nervous that his hands were shaky and he almost spilled his glass after every sip. His heart was beating out of control and every minute seemed much longer than the one before. It felt like he was running on a treadmill more than meeting a guy for a drink. Finally, at 10:05, a tall, handsome, and muscular man walked into the bar and tapped Joey on the shoulder. "Jay?" the man asked. At first, Joey forgot his own alias and didn't know who the man was talking to. He looked over his shoulder and instantly recognized the guy from his profile. "Hi, you must be Brian." Joey awkwardly shook Brian's hand. How else were you supposed to greet a stranger that you were about to beep boop with? Once he had confirmation, Brian took a seat next to him. "Thanks for getting a drink with me," Brian said. "Whenever I meet someone from an app, I always like to see them in public first. You can never be too careful. There are a lot of phonies out there, am I right?" "Yeah, totally," Joey said with a nervous laugh. "Do you use the app often?" He regretted that question as soon as it came out of his mouth. He might as well have asked, "So, how big of a schmore are you?" Luckily, Brian seemed to like his straightforwardness. "I try to meet people the old-fashioned way, but that's hard to do when you're stuck in a place like Oklahoma City for a couple of weeks," Brian said. "You're a breath of fresh air. Believe me, you actually look younger than you do on your profile. That's kind of rare." Brian actually looked slightly older than the pictures on his profile, but Joey wasn't about to tell him that. "Great, now it's s'mores. Yum, yum, yum." "What can I say?" he said with a shrug. "I've got good genes." "I can see that." Brian flirtatiously looked him up and down, and Joey's face filled with a warm rush of blood sent straight from his heart. This was going to be a good night. "So, how was work? You're an architect, right?" "Yep, indeed, but it's really not as glamorous as it sounds," Brian said. "My company's putting an office on 3rd Street, so I was just arguing with the owner about the best location to put the freight elevator. What about you? What brings you to Oklahoma City?" "I'm just on a road trip with some friends," Joey said. "It's our last chance to hang out before we split up for college." "College? Didn't you say you were in college?" Joey was forgetting the lines of his own script. "Oh, I meant before they go off to graduate school," he lied. "They're a little older than me. We all met in the anthropology program over here at Northwestern." "Huh, how's anthropology treating you?" "Great," Joey said. "I sit around staring at artifacts all day, and those are just my professors." Brian laughed, flashing his bright smile. Joey had nothing to compare their day to, but so far they did seem to be enjoying one another's company. "Can I get you fellas a drink?" the bartender asked. "I'll take a Manhattan on the rocks," Brian said. Joey had no idea what a Manhattan was, but it sounded refreshing. "Yeah, I'll take the same," he said. "Could I see your ID?" the bartender asked. Sheer panic hit Joey's face like a deer in front of a semi-truck. It only lasted a moment, though, as Joey remembered he still had the fake ID from Cash in his pocket. He took it out and handed it to the bartender. "I'll be right back with your Manhattans," he said, and went to the other side of the bar to make them. "Is that a Missouri driver's license?" Brian asked. "Oh, yeah," Joey said. "That's where I'm from originally." "You look different than your photo," Brian pointed out. "Can I see that?" Before Joey could slip it back into his pocket or come up with an excuse about why he didn't want to show it to him, Brian had already taken the ID and given it a better look than the bartender had. All Joey's high hopes for the night suddenly came crashing down. "Hemi?" Brian asked. "Why are you carrying a fake ID?" I can explain." "Did you lie about your age?" Brian said, and then looked around the bar in panic. "Wait, am I about to get arrested? Is Chris Hansen about to jump out of somewhere with a camera crew?" No, relax, I'm 18, Joey said. 18? Brian said, "Oh my God, I've been flirting with an 18-year-old. I feel like one of those dirty old schmedditors. I have to go." Brian was visibly shaken and stood to leave, but Joey grabbed his arm before he could walk away. "I want to say, this speaks well of Brian. Brian is a good person. Apps are fine for 2 fully consensual full adults. Brian is a good person. This is the correct response. Good on Brian. Yay, Brian. We love to see it." "Wait, please don't go," he said. "I'm sorry I lied, but I'm not a deceitful person. I was just desperate to meet someone and I didn't know. My profile, I exaggerated some things." The bartender placed their Manhattans on the counter and then hurried away to avoid whatever uncomfortable exchange was happening between them. "Can we just have a drink and then get back to where we were before you saw my ID? I don't know when I'll get another chance to do this. Please." The tense expression in Brian's eyes faded into sympathy. He wasn't looking down at a guy from an app anymore, but at a memory. "You're still in the closet, aren't you?" he asked. For the first time in his life, Joey's superior deflecting skills abandoned him. It was a lot harder to lie to someone when his honesty didn't come with a major consequence. Yeah," Joey confessed. And I'm guessing you're still a schmershman, too. Joey couldn't bring himself to say it, so he just nodded. Brian glanced around the bar as if trying to find Joey's chaperone. Someone needed to talk to this kid. You know what? Let's just have a chat, Brian said and took a seat. You probably don't want to get a lecture from a guy you were hoping to beat boop with, but I just wish I had someone to talk to me about this when I was your age. So tell me what you would want. Tell me, why would you want to lose your first beat boop to a total stranger? Wouldn't you rather wait for someone special? I'd rather just get it out of the way so that I don't have to think about it anymore, Joey said. No. That's your hormones talking, Brian said. Those little bastards will do just about anything to get you to spread your seed. That's a biological fact. But you cannot let them overpower your common sense. It's practically impossible not to when you're young, schmorshme, and live in an over-schmexualized society. Hell, even Instagram turns into a digital red light district after a certain hour, so how could you not be tempted? Dude, we just met on a hookup app, Joey reminded him. Are you seriously giving me the abstinence talk right now? No, that's not the point that I'm trying to make, Brian said. Look, beep boop is the effing best, but it can also be the effing worst if you're not careful. Your first time could potentially set the tone for the rest of your beep boop life. If you don't start off with a decent experience or don't go into it respecting yourself, it could lead to some really bad habits. You don't want to become one of those guys with fulfillment issues who just jumps into bed with every guy they meet. Believe me, you don't want to do that. Brian downed his Manhattan in one gulp like he was washing away a bad memory. We're not hooking up tonight, are we? Joey asked. No, absolutely not. Brian said, you're going to be talking about your first for the rest of your life, and the last thing I want to do is have you look back with regrets or feel like someone unworthy is walking around with a piece of your soul. Trust me, I learned that the hard way, and if I could do it all over again, I would lose it to a friend I knew I could trust or someone I could be safe with and laugh about it later. I think I appreciate what you're saying, Joey said, but it's really more complicated than that. My dad is a well-known pastor, and I'm going to a Baptist college next year. Kind of hard to think of a scenario that wouldn't get back to him aside from doing it with a total stranger, and I'm really not ready for my family to know. Now that's rough, Brian said. I've got an uncle that refused to acknowledge me since I came out, but it's not an excuse to shortcut the most important part of our lives. I know that this is hard to understand when you're young, but if your dad would rather lose a son than accept you for who you are, that's his loss. Remember, for every person who doesn't accept you, you're going to find a dozen who will. It's like gay law. Are you a motivational speaker or something? You can't be making all of this stuff up on the spot. Tuesdays and Thursdays at the San Diego LGBT Community Center, he said. Joey couldn't believe his luck. Of all the people to meet online, he had found a person who wouldn't take advantage of him. Brian put some cash on the counter and stood to leave. Drinks are on me, he said. Take care of yourself, Jay. Actually, it's Joey, he said. Are you sure you don't want to take me back to your place? You'd make an awfully decent memory. Brian laughed, and when no one was looking, he quickly leaned down and kissed Joey on the lips. There, he said. At least you got some of it out of the way. Good night. Joey watched Brian go in total silence as he came down from the high of his first kiss. Sure, he didn't get what he wanted, but at least he'd leave the bar a little more of a sinner than a saint. Hey, Romeo, how was your date? Joey turned toward the voice and he saw Cash Carter sitting in the booth at the very back. The actor had a huge grin on his face and a thumbs up. Oh no, Joey gasped. How long have you been sitting there? The whole time, Cash said. Joey had never been more mortified in his life. All the blood in his body rushed to the pit of his stomach. He covered his face with his hands, but nothing could shield him from the intense overexposure. The night he had been dreaming about since yesterday morning had quickly turned into a nightmare. He seemed like a nice guy. Too bad he wouldn't put out. Joey hurried to his table and slid into the seat across from him. Please, do not tell the others about this, he begged. I know I lied to you in the car, and I'm sure there might be some satisfaction in calling me out on it, but I am not ready for anyone to know. Joey acted like he was begging for his life instead of asking someone to keep a secret. Hey, look, it's all good, man, Cash said. I'm not going to tell anyone. I understand why you'd want to keep it from your family, but why don't you tell your friends? They seem really open-minded and totally able to handle it. I just don't want to risk it, okay? Joey said. If word ever got back to my parents, well, I don't even know what would happen. They'd probably disown me or ship me off to some facility where they shock the gay out of you. It's better for everyone if I just keep it to myself. He was just taking out the garbage, you guys. Cash grunted. Is that also why you're going to Oklahoma Baptist University for performing arts? Because it's better for everyone? What are you getting at, Cash? Dude, you're bending over backwards to please people who are never going to give you approval, Cash said. I know, because I'm guilty of it too, and it's a total waste of time. It's like when I spend my days off doing favors for television critics, no matter how many headshots I sign or videos I record for their bratty kids, it isn't going to make them review my projects any better or write good things about me in their recaps. No offense, but I think pleasing my family and pleasing a bunch of critics is totally different, Joey said. Sorry, it was just the first example I could come up with, Cash said. Your whole world's gonna open up once you get out from under your dad's thumb. Don't you remember that the whole It Gets Better thing the Whiz Kids cast participated in? Cash was trying to help, but it was only making Joey angrier by the second. You Hollywood people are so full of it, Joey said. You act like all our problems can be solved with a catchphrase or a hashtag, like our lives actually get easier if we see a bunch of celebrities with matching t-shirts and a PSA. Dude, I'm just trying to sympathize with you, Cash said. I know what it's like to— No, you don't, Cash, Joey yelled. You don't know what it's like to feel ashamed every time you have a physical attraction. You don't know what it's like to have most of the planet think that you're a pervert or a demon or mentally ill. And you don't know what it's like to live in a country with judges and cabinet members that think you belong in jail. You know what it's like to be with the people that you love the most that would never love the real you. You'll never know what any of those things are like, so don't pretend that you do. Joey had to catch his breath to recover from an outburst like he had just run a marathon. He had been so successful at hiding his anger that he didn't realize there was so much of it inside him. Once it started pouring out, Joey couldn't stop it, and it was as if Cash had put the final crack in the dam around his heart. Feel better now? Cash asked. I am so sorry, Joey said. I've never said those things to anyone else before. I don't think I've ever even said them aloud to myself. I was worried the furniture was going to start levitating, Cash said. You're right, though. I don't know what any of that's like, but I do know what it's like to feel trapped and too afraid to do anything about it. How so? Joey asked. Agoraphobia, Cash said. Agoraphobia? It's a fear of leaving your house, Cash said. Remember the Christmas episode in season 5, the one that implied the Virgin Mary was an alien abductee and Jesus Christ was an extraterrestrial human hybrid? Yeah. Of course, Joey said. People were not happy about that episode. My parents almost forbid me from watching the show. That was the worst backlash the Whiz Kids ever received, Cash said. And even though I didn't write it, since I was the face of the show, people took their anger out on me. I got death threats from 5 different radical religious groups. What? Joey assumed this was another one of Cash's exaggerated stories, but he was being dead serious. Oh, yeah, he said. They threatened to pew-pew me and to mail me poison and to put a boom-boom in my car, you name it. For a good year, I was terrified to leave my house. The only other places that I went were the studio to shoot the show and WizCon to promote it. What did you do about it? How did you get over it? Joey said. One day I woke up and I decided that I had had enough. Cash explained. I realized that it didn't matter what might happen to me outside because the damage was already done. Those maniacs had already taken my life away by making me live in fear, and it just took me a while to realize it. So I finally built up enough courage to step outside, and you know what I learned? What? Cash smiled serenely. I learned why they call it fresh air, he said, and one day you will too. Joey was stunned. Not so much by the story, but that so much insight had come out of a man who passed out at a Rosemary Schmishmorshin concert. Wow, none of us had any idea that you went through something like that, he said. That must have taken a lot of courage. It took strength I didn't even know I had, Cash said. Also, the police traced all of the pew-pew threats back to a 47-year-old loser living in his mother's basement, so that helped me out too. Joey shook his head and gave the actor a dirty look. He had almost fallen for this. There was definitely a thin line between a storyteller and a BSer, and it was definitely becoming clearer and clearer which side of the line Cash was on. What are you even doing here anyway? Joey asked. I'm meeting up with someone too. There aren't many places to choose on a Monday night in Oklahoma City, Cash said. Okay, who are you meeting? You're not the only one who uses the internet for hookups, Cash said. Now scram before you scare my stranger away like you did yours. There's not enough cold water at the hotel for both of us. Joey left Sinners and Saints and headed back to the vacation suites down the street. He didn't get the physical release he was hoping for, but after a night of honesty, it was much easier to breathe. He didn't want to give Cash any credit, but maybe there was some truth to his BS after all. I mean, Cash does have some good points, you guys, I gotta say. He's got some good points, so you know. All right, I'm gonna get going because I have a lot to do today, and we have roll for slime later, so I have a lot of preparation to do for that. But I will see you all at 4:30. It is on the YouTubes, and the link will be posted by 4 p.m. on Patreon. And I will see you then. I hope you all have a great rest of your day in the meantime.